Welcome again, Sagittarius. Dadhichi here from astrology.com.au with your monthly horoscope. It's April 2016, and fortunately you've got a dose of Mars energy that's going to lift you out of that resistant Saturn vibe that's been there for what you think obviously is far too long. And that's good, but there's still a little bit of frustration there because that resistance is not going to go away. And it's the image that's coming to mind is I remember once I was at the gym, and we often try to do and lift more weights than we can, and the result is obvious. If you're not in really good shape, you're not fit enough, then all you're going to do really is cause damage to yourself. And that's sort of the analogy I'd like to use here with Saturn and now Mars moving through your sun sign through this period of time. Now it's going to continue for a while longer as well. Mars is a much friendlier planet, but you cannot escape this powerful Saturn movement. It's in retrogression right now. Mars is going to move towards the conjunction. These are two very opposed energies. But on the 17th, it's going to move into retrogression as well. It's sort of like, uh-oh, there's Saturn, I'm out of here. Now, the retrogression actually empowers the planet, so it gives you the opportunity to reconsider action, reconsider what it is you're thinking of doing. These two planets have a direct influence on your marital sector, the 7th house of your horoscope. And love and relationships, to me anyhow, as your astrologer, seem to be pointing to this being a very pivotal and thematic concept this month. Now, why do I say that? Because normally we should look at more than one pattern. We should look at 2 or 3 patterns in the horoscope to say, yep, that seems like it might be the type of influence that's going to occur to you this month, Sagittarius. So what's the other one? Well, Venus, which is the 11th ruler, that's the planet ruling your social affairs, moves to the 5th house of love affairs. And right now the Sun is there, Mercury is there, and Uranus is there. Something unexpectedly, I would say maybe even pleasant, will happen, because the third factor there is Mercury on the 1st of April will move to the conjunction of Uranus. And Uranus is always unexpected in its effects. Mercury is the 7th ruler, or the marital planet. Venus is the natural ruler of love. And all of these planets are in the 5th house, love affairs. Then on the 7th we have a new moon in exactly the same place. The moon actually rules your sexuality. So there's a very strong theme associated with these parts of the horoscope. Now mind you, the 5th house is only one, well, love affairs are only one component of that 5th house. I'm venturing forward to say that this will more than likely relate to new opportunities in relationships, sudden and unexpected meetings socially, grand openings and creative expression, which may have been curtailed due to the transit of Saturn in that sun sign. So this is all great news, and you've still got that right angle, that square aspect from Pluto in the 2nd house. That might have more to do with your finances, being a little more sort of intense and obsessive about how you can earn it. But that aside, this relationship side of things I think is fairly clear throughout this month. Then, it's funny because we see the relationship planet Mercury doing firstly that conjunction to Uranus on the 1st. Then we see Mercury moving into Taurus. That's the 6th house. So there's a bit of a shift there, away from the relationships into your work and your daily routine, the way you're conducting your work. And for some of you, this mercurial power of thinking and ideation may relate to some health issues, working through becoming healthier. That just might have something to do with the fact that you've got all of those planets in the 5th house of love affairs, And what normally happens when we're conscious of someone looking at us, we want to get back in shape. We want to look our best. So that could account for the focus on health, diet, and just looking your best. There's also on the 15th a trine aspect from Mercury to Jupiter. That's a lovely combination. Jupiter being in your 10th house of career and Mercury being in your 6th house of work. That very much augments your opportunity to expand your professional prospects throughout the second half. Well, it starts just before the middle of the month, but I'm seeing there that energy is going to carry through. You've got Mercury also in trine to Pluto. So first you've got the Jupiter in your career sector, Pluto in your finance sector, coming from the 6th house. So this is all what we call a grand trine, an earth trine, bringing with it a whole lot of practicality associated with your work, profession, and self-esteem as well. Venus, as I said, just simply spends its time there in Aries after it moves on the 6th, producing a nice aspect to Mars on the 13th, and then another favourable aspect to Saturn, which is in your 1st house on the 19th, but a hard aspect on the 20th. So a few mixed aspects going on there. You must just relax into any new relationships that you meet. Don't push forward your opinion too quickly. If someone new on the block comes along and has expressed some interest, just play it cool. And that's probably the best way you can deal with that. Now, later in the month, and we'll finish off on this one, I think, because it's very, very important. A 12th house full moon, and the moon is ruling your 8th house. 8th house is an unsavory house. 12th house is also considered an unsavory house. So this is in Hindu astrology called Viparit Yoga, or cancellation of negative times negative, being very, very positive. As well as being in the 12th house, Scorpio is the worst possible position sign-wise for the moon, albeit strong, by being full. So this is usually an indicator that income can increase, apart from the spiritual connotations of having some insights into your spiritual path. This is financially a good opportunity for you to lift your ball game. So that's a nice end to the month, I think. Hope to join you and you to join me here again next month. In the meantime, astrology.com.au is my site. Lots of other important information, news updates, and free oracles, if you like, along with the opportunity to make my services available to you if you need a more detailed analysis of what's going on in your life. Take care. See you here next month. Bye-bye.